Well, that's good advice and all, but it's 2025 now. Surely you got something better. Wow, welcome back to the Realm. Let's go fast. The old Big Mek here, and that's right. It is time to update our list on how to build 1,000 points of orks for really cheap for 2025. So let's get into it. All right, for those of you that are new here or not quite familiar with what's going on, this channel is all about Warhammer 40k stuff, specifically the hobbying, the kit bashing, and the saving of the money. And some of my most popular videos are how to get to a certain number of points in a certain army for really cheap using kit bashes and being really cunning. And obviously, since we have such an orc bent around here, the orc ones do the best, and it is time, high time even, to update the list for 2025. Now, I've done two of these before. I did one back in 2023. I did one last year in 2024. As new models came out and new things happened. The original list used the original Combat Patrol. Last year's list used the new Combat Patrol. And now we're going to use the new Combat Patrol again, but we're also going to use some new kits that have come out since then, as well as some old favorites. So buckle up, because this is the way to get the most for your money, guaranteed. Let's get into it. All right, so our updated list for 2025 is still 1,000 points. Basically, it's a great start to an army. Again, we're starting with a combat patrol, so the assumption here is somebody that is either new to Warhammer 40k or new to this particular army, wanting to build it out from there, right? So it's pretty typical to buy the combat patrol, plus they're pretty much the only discount boxes available, and they tend to be decent deals for most armies. I understand they kind of went downhill a bit, but the last kind of round of them, especially the new Chaos ones, are actually really decent. So they're coming back around again. And there's always been like strong ones and weak ones, so that's to kind of be expected. But again, we're starting with the Combat Patrol. We're building out from there. So like, where do you go to get from the Combat Patrol to 1,000 points as cheaply and as easily as possible, but also give you a great variety of units to play so that you can get an idea of what it is in the army you really love, so that as you expand up to 2,000 points, you've got a better idea of what direction it is you want to go. So I try to really mix it up a whole bunch, get as many different kinds of units in there as I can. And also, even though we're kit bashing, the kit bashes are really low effort, really easy. So it shouldn't be intimidating to you. If you have any questions about these kit bashes, definitely hit me up down in the comments below. I can direct you to specific videos on every single kit bash we talk about here, and they all require very little skill. You're going to cut some things with a knife, you're going to glue some things together, no green stuff needed, no sculpting needed, no 3D printing needed, anything like that. So these armies are 100% tournament legal, they're 100% Games Workshop, and they are 100% awesome. Now, as of this filming, which is in April of 2025, again, the points are around 1,000 points. I think it comes out to like 985 without using an enhancement, which is great because that allows you 15 points to use an enhancement, and also gives you a little bit of wiggle room if points change a little bit on the next update or two. We always try to kind of aim for that. It also gives you the option of running either 9 or 10 units, which we'll get into in a second. And the price, as of this recording, which there are affiliate links down in the description below, is about $344 US. Now, you can probably find it for cheaper if you do some shopping around. These are just super quick, simple, easy Amazon links that anybody can get to. But if you are a cunning shopper and you watch like eBay, or you have a friendly local game store that sells at a discount, you can probably pick these up even cheaper. So this is like a good ground floor. If you're anywhere around like say 345 or less, you're doing fantastic on this army, and that includes the Combat Patrol. So remember, if you're watching this and you've already bought the Combat Patrol, you've already sunk that. I think we've got it priced out at about 128 bucks. You can take that out of the 343. So you're looking at what, 115? So it's like less than the cost of a second Combat Patrol to get all the way up to the 1,000 points. Okay, let's jump into it. All right, starting with the Combat Patrol, you are going to get 20 of these little beast snagga guys right here. These guys are super awesome. If you haven't looked at them yet, you totally should. They are not feral orcs. They are not backwoods. They are actually Scar Boys. I did a whole video series on this. I'll link it up there for you. But basically, way back in the day in older editions, these were called Scar Boys, and they were orc boys that were a little tougher, a little meaner, had been in more fights. They were all sorts of cut up, and on the battlefield, they purposely went toward like the biggest, baddest things out there. They were really on their way to becoming knobs and war bosses like crazy. And so Scar Boys were especially beat up, and they had lots of cyborg pieces. So those bionic like legs, arms, things like that, super duper scarred up heads. Yeah, all sorts of really good stuff. These guys are all equipped with chain axes, kind of like, you know, Korn Space Marines. So yeah, very, very cool models. You get 20 of these in the box. Now, you can build them kind of any way you want. You can build them as 2 squads of 10, so you would end up with 2 knobs and then 2 you know, sets of 9 regular dudes. They are not monopose, by the way. They are a multi-pose. The arms and shoulder, well, okay, the shoulder pads and heads are pretty much interchangeable on all of them. You might have to trim like a little earring piece or something like that for some of the heads that are turned. But as far as the sockets go, they go right on. Same thing with the shoulder pads. Some of them have cutouts for some of the different like back pieces and whatnot. But again, they pretty much just go right on. And then even the arms themselves can swap. So it's really, really easy to mix and match the pieces of these to make really cool stuff. You can even mix them up with one of the other kits we're going to talk about here in a second. But long and the short of it is, you got 20 of these guys, build them up. Personally, the way I've written the list and the way that I would run the army and the way that I've built my own personal ones is to build a single squad of 20. You want 1 knob and then the rest of the snagger guys. I did build a couple of the thump guns just because I thought they looked cool, but that's up to you on whether or not you actually want to build that or deal with it. In my opinion, it's like easier to build them, and then if you decide not to take a thump gun, you could just say, hey, there's no thump guns in this squad, and the models don't matter, which is a lot easier than trying to say, oh, the guy with the orange axe has the thump gun, you know. So little piece of advice, but you're going to get 20 of these guys. You're going to start there. The next thing in the box is the Squighog Boys. You are going to get 4 of these guys. It's actually 3 Squighog Boys and then a knob on Smash a Squig, which used to be a totally separate unit. They finally decided to make them all one unit, which was smart. And then a tiny little scratch and grot squiggy thing. But anyways, these guys are also super cool. They are also not monopose. You can switch the riders. On the squigs, what you want to do is you want to keep the arms. The rest of the rider is pretty interchangeable, and then the heads on the squigs are actually interchangeable as well. And once again, these guys are highly bionic. One of them even has a wheel instead of legs. The other ones all have mechanical legs, and they all have grot riders. And these have rocket-powered sticks that they're spearing things with, and then little mini chain axes for the grots. Now, the pieces on these are not just interchangeable with themselves, they are also interchangeable with the beast snaggas themselves. So if you wanted to mix up the heads and shoulder pads and whatnot on these guys, feel free to do it because you can, and you can totally make your army unique. What I did is I built the first set, the first units completely out of the box, and then the second set of units I built, I mixed everything up, squished it all back together, and made unique units so that my units didn't look exactly the same on the tabletop. But if you're only building one, you know, feel free to just follow the directions. But you're going to end up with a squad of these. Now, well, these guys are battle line, okay, so they're going to hold objectives, they're going to score you primary points and secondary points and things like that. These guys kill things. These guys kill things really, really, really good. They charge into battle, they hit really hard, especially against demons and vehicles. That's like their big specialty. These guys are one of the best units in the entire game. It's what makes the combat patrol itself so stinking hard. Now we'll come back to these guys in a second, but let's continue on with the box because there's one more thing in the box, and that is the beast boss on foot. So you're going to build him up. You are going to use him as a leader for your army. Ideally, again, what I would do is I would build those 20 beast snaggas as all one unit, as 20 of them, and lead with the beast boss. Those two guys together really, really work well. And yeah, it's just a big, tough unit that's really hard to get rid of and can actually dish out some pain. But again, if you wanted to, you could run 2 10-man squads and only lean one of them with the beast boss. That way you can go score some more points. All right, now that you've got your combat patrol and it's built and it's painted and you're ready to move on to the next thing, I would highly recommend this. This is the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. Now, you want him because he can lead these Squighog boys that we talked about earlier from the combat patrol. So while your Beast Boss on foot leads the Beast Snaggas on foot, obviously, the Beast Boss on Squigosaur leads the beast snaggas that are on the squigs. Makes sense, right? But this guy is an absolute terror on the tabletop. You want to run him as your warlord, put your enhancement on him, and again, you're going to make a unit that is absolutely insanely good. Now, the cool thing about this model is it is also Mazrog Skragbad, which is a special character that rides a squig. So there's a whole second way to build the squig and a whole second body top thing. You can save those pieces for later. They're also really easy to magnetize. So if you wanted to swap this back and forth between the special character and the generic guy, you totally can. So that like concludes the beast snagga portion of the army. All right, next is going to come as no surprise. You're going to want a unit of grots. Basically, grots farm CP, your command points that you use the different stratagems in the game. They're pretty much one of the only ways we have of getting those every turn on top of just the one that you get. So they're really good for that. They're also good for screening, keeping other things from getting into your battle line or behind your battle line. They're great to sit on your home field objective. They're a super cheap unit. They're like 40 points or something ridiculous like that, again, as of this filming. And they're a super cheap unit to buy. They're still less than like 25 bucks even after all the price increases. And again, if you are a smart shopper on eBay, the Ork Gretchin box where they're plastic and there's the 10 grots plus the minder in it has not changed in like 15-20 years. So any of them are good. They're all literally the exact same box inside. I have picked up multiples of them for around 10 bucks each. So there's definitely an opportunity to save yourself some money getting these grots, but you definitely want to add them to your army. All right, next is probably going to be the first or second box you would have actually bought. People tend to either buy the combat patrol and then a kill team, or buy a kill team and then the combat patrol as they build their way into like real 40K. The commandos are excellent. I would absolutely recommend those. We're not using them in this particular build out, but again, excellent kit. It gives you enough pieces to actually build 2 full sets of commandos if you have an extra set of bodies, which is amazing. You can build one like all kitted out with all the special weapons, and then you can build one that's just all the knives and sneaky stuff. Really cool option. But what we're going to do is use the new kill team, the Wrecking Crew, and this is why this is an updated video for 2025, is this is a brand new kit. Now, for those of you not familiar with this kit, inside is everything you need to build both Tankbustas and these new guys called breaka boys. What they did is they took the classic old school Tankbusta unit and they split it into 2. And all the guys with rocket launchers got to stay as Tankbustas and shoot things from afar. And all of the guys with like tank hammers and things like that are now these new breaka boys that are designed to go after tanks and like really hardcore, elite infantry and like Terminator suits and things like that. They can go and do that in close combat. Now again, this box is genius because it comes with everything in there except for another set of bodies. So what you want to do is get your hands on some more orc bodies. Well, that's easy enough. You buy yourself an old boys kit. Again, the orcs come with 2 different boys kits. There's one that is 10 boys that is true monopose. It's not a great kit. If you're really super curious, maybe buy 1, but you definitely don't need any more than 1. And it's also really expensive. For like $10 less retail for a box, you can buy the older kit, which is still in production, which has 11 boys in it, and they're the old squatty kind of badonkadonk boys. But what you're doing is you're using those bodies only. Because there's 11, you're going to steal 6 of them for this crew right here, which is great because one of the 11 is a knob, and you do need a little bit bigger of a knob guy for your conversion. And it's super easy. You just glue the arms and the heads on and you're done. The great thing about these breaka boys is they have these great big giant like carapaces that go over the shoulder joints, because the shoulder joints are actually kind of wonky in this kit, which means your shoulder joints don't have to be great on your kit bash ones. You're going to cover them with the carapace anyway, so they work the absolute business. In fact, that is exactly what this guy right here is. He is an old school orc body with the Rekka, not the Rekka crew, that's the breaka boy hammer, arms, head, and carapace on him. And I mean, it literally took nothing to do this. Again, whole video series on it. Check it out. But anyways, so from your Rekka Crew box and your boys box, you are going to build a squad of Tankbustas and a squad of breaka boys, which is great because they're both really great in the game, and it gives you something that can shoot and something that can close combat hardened targets. combined with your really fast anti-vehicle squighog boys being led by that beast boss and squigosaur, plus your giant brick of beast snagga boys being led by a beast boss, you've got yourselves a really, really good army. There's one more piece to go, because if those of you that can count past 5 know that you have 5 extra bodies left from that old boys kit. Now, if only there was a kit that you could use 5 extra bodies for. That's right, the Lootas. It's 2025, and this part of our list just has not changed. I think this is featured in all 3 of them now, because it is, again, so honking easy. The old, still current Loota kit has 5 Lootas and 5 Burnas in it, worth of weapons and heads and accessories, and just 5 bodies. The great thing about the Loota Burna kit is the actual bodies are literally the same as the old boys kit. Not only that, they were designed to go together. The old boys kit on the upgrade sprue, like that has the knob on it and stuff, has the arm that's missing from the Lootas kit to build the spanner. So really, you have to buy those 2 kits together anyway to actually build them out. But yeah, you buy the Loota kit, you build 5 Lootas, 5 Burnas, again, using your bodies out of that old boys kit, and bam, there you go, 985 points. And again, it is a really solid, well-rounded army. It's a little infantry heavy, I will admit. There's no real vehicles in it, but most 1,000-point armies don't, other than like maybe a transport or some sort of a simple walker. What we do have is the giant beast boss on squigosaur, which is a really, really cool model and extremely good on the tabletop. But again, you're going to have a squad of Tankbustas. They are shooting from afar. They are causing all sorts of havoc with any kind of vehicle. You've got your squighog boys running around, again, smashing into vehicles, smashing into demons, doing all sorts of havoc there, scoring you big points on killing things. You've got your Lootas shooting. Lootas can be sneakily good at shooting in 10th and a half edition of Warhammer 40k. Plus, it gives you another shooting option in your army, which is great so that you can actually participate in all the phases of the game. You've also got your grots. They're hanging back there, scoring those command points for you to use, keeping your home objective secure, screening your army from other deep strikers and things like that. You got the Burna boys running around, which again, sneakily good. Right now, the meta is kind of weird, and some of the armies that are really, really good are kind of a whole bunch of really cheap, lousy little infantry. And the Burna boys are excellent against defending against those. Again, when you're using on Overwatch, those torrent weapons automatically hit, so everybody in the unit hits. Well, all the Burna boys hit. The spanner, for some reason, still doesn't have a flamethrower, but that's neither here nor there. But it's gonna hit, it's gonna do great on that Overwatch, and it's gonna do massive amounts of damage to those cheap little infantry units. So the Burna boys are great for that. And then again, you've got the breaka boys running around. They can smash things in close combat too. Not to discount the beast snagga boys. The beast snagga boys are very, very adept at smashing heads and scoring great points in that way, as well as your objective control being a battle line unit, scoring those points. And then again, your leaders, you've got the beast boss on squigosaur and the beast boss on foot. So it's a really great set of models. You've got all these beast snagga models that came out in around 2018-ish time frame is when those kind of dropped. You've got the new breaka boys and Tankbustas that just came out this year. And then you've got some of the older kits that have been around for a hot minute, 15, 20 years. But it gives you a great range of what the orc sculpts look like and build like. It gives you your first tastes of that sweet, sweet conversion factor that orcs have, and just how easy it is to combine kits with basic boy bodies to build all your different crazy infantries. And then you, from there, you know, the sky's the limit. You can build special characters and all sorts of really crazy cool stuff. But yeah, that is the list. It's super easy, it's super simple, it's a great way to learn how to play, and it's not that much money or that many boxes. Again, as of this filming, it's like 344 bucks, 345 bucks. And that's just simple Amazon retail. Again, if you go look on eBay for some deals, you can absolutely build this for even cheaper, which is fantastic because over half of it, again, is that combat patrol. So yeah, combat patrol, Loota box, the old boys box, your new kill team Rekka crew, the Grots, and the Mazrog Scragbad / Beast Boss on Squigosaur kit. That's it, 6 kits, and you are done. And again, there are links down in the description below They might not all be live because Amazon has stock problems with all that kind of stuff. But again, it just kind of gives you an idea of it. By all means, go shop around. If you've got a friendly local game store that can match those prices or beat those prices, go use them. If you've got gift certificates for Warhammer or Warhammer corporate store or whatever, however you want to get them is totally cool. This is just the advice on how to get there. So yeah. Plus, again, it gives you a kill team. Like all the options for the kill team, really, because you're building all the Tankbustas and all the breaka boys. So as you play kill team, you can like swap those operatives in and out. So it gives you all of the options so that you can go play kill team. It gives you the combat patrol so that you can go play combat patrol, and it gives you a 1,000-point army so that you can start getting into real games of Warhammer 40k. You can play narrative to your heart's content with this army, and then again, as you learn about it, you can go, oh man, like, okay, I really like, the way these units work, or now I want to try some vehicles, and that gives you an idea of what to do for your second set of 1,000 points to build up to your full-size 2,000-point army. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I really appreciate you hanging around for it. If you found value in this, let me know down in the comments below, or by hitting the like or subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, you can help the channel out. We do have a Patreon linked below. It's only $5 a month, and it really helps the channel grow and do fun things. And also, we have a merch store. It's theredonesgofasta.com. It is linked down in the description. You can get these sweet shirts made by BenBam, which have the cool, crazy orc driving his vehicle as fast as he can. We make a hoodie version of this in full color that's really, really rad, as well as a red squig merch, including the hats. We got our paint mugs and water bottles and t-shirts and all sorts of fun things. Don't drink the dirty paint water. And again, every single purchase helps the channel out. Would be really, really awesome if you would consider doing so. But yeah, if not, again, throw something down in the comments. Happy to have a discussion with anybody. We also have a Discord server that is completely free, not paywalled at all. If you want to click that link down below, by all means, we have quite a few hundred people on our Discord, and absolutely amazing set of people there, doing all sorts of help with each other on kitbashes and conversions and family hammer. We do lots of kit hammer stuff, and we do all the armies. Again, very orc centric, but we do all the armies. Lots of Death Guard players, lots of Necron players, lots of Space Marine players, obviously, lots of Imperial Guard players. I've often said that the Venn diagram of Imperial Guard players and orc players is like pretty much a circle. I don't know why. It just seems like we all like Imperial Guard. But yeah, so all sorts of stuff going on there. So if you like 40k, if you like conversions, if you like saving money, if you like hanging out with other similarly like-minded people, check out the Discord down below. All right, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate watching. I was really hoping to do some painting videos right now, but as you can see, I got into a fight with a war boss, and he kind of crumped me with his power claw. Actually, I got smashed at the gym putting a weight down, and oh yeah, it's bleeding through again. So I got to go take care of this. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, walk on!